Yep, we've got another GOP creep for you. And you'll be shocked to find out that this creep we're gonna profile is a big anti-groomer. He's like supporting legislation to stop the grooming and sexualization of children, and then wait until you find out why we're talking about him. This is BRYAN Slaton. Okay, he's a Christian conservative, he says. Back in the news as of yesterday for resigning from his office. Well, that's noteworthy. Not a lot of people like willingly step down once they've gotten into the political system. He had a reason though. A panel found that he had had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a 19-year-old intern. Now, granted, 19-year-old, I guess, isn't a 14-year-old or whatever. But if like the key to your politics is that you're against the sexualization of children, wrecking your marriage to hook up with a 19-year-old intern at that certainly seems like an interesting choice. Anyway, we had previously talked about BRYAN Slaton. He was accused last month of having sexual relations with a young intern he invited to his apartment in Austin, with the Texas Tribune reporting that he drank alcohol with the underage subordinate. Bipartisan House committee determined that this was in fact the case, writing that the lawmaker, quote, engaged in inappropriate sexual conduct with a subordinate. He has been one of the states, this is Texas after all, loudest voices decrying the sexualization of children, telling OAN last year, this is just going to the grooming, the sexualization of our children. This comes down to decency, morality, and ethics. And children should not be the object of your sexualization, your desires. Yeah. Again, 19 of legal age. But if this is your whole thing, about morality and ethics and all of that, you got an interesting way of showing it. Also, heavily sexual harassment, by the way. You have an incredible amount of power over a 19-year-old intern. So it is gross in like 7 different ways simultaneously. What do you think, Aida?
I mean, first of all, it is legal, right? Because she can have sex with a man, but she can't buy her own beer. So, yeah. Her cerebral cortex isn't fully developed. But you got to think that to those people, a woman is 12. So children are little kids to them. That pedophile, that I can't even get it out of my, it messes with me as a person. That mentality of people who try to change the legal laws of what adulthood is because it's convenient. A 19-year-old woman to them is a full-grown woman. And here is just a college student who can't buy a drink, or someone who can't rent a car at Enterprise. You know what I mean? Like it's always what adulthood is defined by what is convenient for them when they have that mentality. Because what does somebody that age have in common with someone that is 19 years old? What do you have to talk about? And why do you feel so small? Your ego must be little where you have to talk to someone like that so that you can feel you're on par with someone, because a grown woman is probably too much for you to handle. That is disgusting. And me not to take away agency from a young woman who's 19 years old, I will always advocate for the young people who are being abused by those in power.
Yeah, it's all projection. Like the more they talk about this stuff, it's why they're doing it. And you know it because and I'll end on this. Like you listen to like Matt Walsh's old stuff, like teen girls are for breeding. That's what they say. They're okay with the child marriage. They're okay with lowering the age of consent. Teen girls are for breeding. Teen boys are for working in the meatpacking plants. Like kids can do all sorts of stuff according to them. All of the stuff about trans people and LGBTQ community, it's not about actual concerns about pedophilia because they don't mind the sexualization of kids. It's a convenient way to dehumanize and demonize the community. That's all it is. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.